By God, I have done the impossible. But before we get into that, let me refer you over to one of the people who makes these fantastic intro videos for the Antisocial Network, our boy Chris Johnson, who runs the Bloody Dreadful Shite Movie Podcast, the BDSM Podcast. Little fucker is out of his mind. He fits right in here on the Antisocial Network. Let's take a quick look at what you can expect by watching Chris's product.
If I go to therapy, they're going to stop me from being a whore, and I don't want to stop being a whore, so why would I go to therapy? All they're going to do is tell me to stop being a massive dirty whore. Massive dirty whore. Massive dirty whore. Massive dirty whore.
I damn love that spot. Make sure to check out Chris right here on the Antisocial Network. So people, let me tell you what I have done. I have done the impossible, frankly. I have bridged a gap that people have been trying to bridge for as long as time has been there. What's up, Mickey? Welcome, brother. You are part of history. Me, have reached out to the other side, and I have made contact with a very particular, very interesting celebrity who has moved on. A very interesting guy. I've always been a big fan of him. He told me that he would be very interested in having a podcast here on the Antisocial Network, where he was going to reach out from beyond the veil, and he was going to tell you all what he thinks of pretty much the state of how the world is nowadays. It's wacky, it's wild, and it's happening right here. So, my genius, my superior intellect, my Trump-like perfect. Never mind. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to the beyond. I'm calling out to you, Doc. Dr. Thompson. Hunter S. Thompson. Can you hear me? Are you there?
What is the meaning of this intrusion? Can you hear me?
Doc, it's me, Rob.
Oh, yes, Rob, the man in the hat. Yes, we're quite fans of your Antisocial Network here on the other side. It's quite interesting. Yes, it's an interesting concept. Social being non-social. I would say this is disembodying, but to the contrary, I'm now reincorporated, as one would say.
And
I fell into.
Somehow your genius has figured out how to break through the veil, get into like electronics, and get yourself out there, man. This is the teamwork move of the century. Now, I feel like I should probably just go ahead and thank you for coming on and get the hell up out of the way and let you do what you're going to do.
No, to be quite honest, I haven't spoken to anyone anyone real in well over a decade or two now.
Okay. Oh, all right.
I would much rather you just stay where you are. You've bought the ticket. Take the ride.
Let's go for a ride, Doc. I'm strapping in. Call me Laszlo.
Oh, yes. Old Laszlo. I was actually in this. Yes?
Just so everybody realizes, like there's a lot of new people who watch who aren't sure who Dr. Thompson actually is. He was portrayed by two of the biggest names to ever walk through Hollywood. Bill Murray played him in Where the Buffaloes Roam. And finally, Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That is who we have with us, the real deal. So appreciate what's being given to you. Speak up.
It's hard to follow that. I was actually just enjoying what was left of the ether. Well, I fell into a fellow by the name of Francis Philip Fatbody, who agreed to be so kind as to let me rent some space. It's almost like your foot fell asleep, except for it's throughout your whole body. I forgot what it was like to feel.
Oh, Jesus.
But that also could be the tranquilizers. This body's not quite acclimated to the amount of shivas that I require in order to entertain.
You are certainly well known throughout the world for how much you're able to imbibe.
I'm also known for fear and loathing, whether it be at the Kentucky Derby or in Las Vegas, as previously disclosed, or the campaign trail as depicted in Where the Buffalo Roam. I like to take it in and do as much as I can with it. I
Now,
noticed that, yes.
what I really like about the Buffalo's Rome was how many of your actual quotes, recorded and written quotes, were used in that movie. My favorite being the immigrant workers who stormed into your room, drank all of your booze, and did all of your drugs.
Well, of course, that's what happens.
That is
You have an
what
open door policy, and next thing you know, all the immigrant workers come in, they do all the drugs, they drink all the booze. It's a good time.
it's a good
Fun
time.
was had by all.
And then you just charge it to the paper, yeah?
Stolen credit cards, papers, any unsuspecting bystanders and onlookers, all are in danger.
Boy. So tell me, man, what is it? Because you guys, I know you can see us. So you're watching the world. You're watching how the world has evolved since you left us. Any thoughts?
Honestly, it's like the Weather Channel, except for you can't change it, and it's all awful. The first thing that I felt when I fell into Francis, Mr. Fat Body, whichever you want to call him, I call him Phil. When I fell into Phil's body, the first thing I felt was fear and loathing, which is something I'm very accustomed to, given the nature of my debaucheries at the Kentucky Derby and other locations. But then I noticed that
living in Fat Body, do you see a lot of bats still?
no, actually, it just feels like it feels almost like you have your foot stuck in a shoe that's just a size too small.
No.
He just cleared his shorts. Jesus, do I have Tourette's? Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I noticed that it wasn't just Philip who felt this fear and loathing. It was all people and all the land. There was once a fine line between genius and insanity, but apparently ever since I snorted it, you fuckers have gone mad. Unless the inmates finally realized they were running the asylum. I did a little introspective thought before I joined you in this interesting new realm. You know, it's funny, breaking out of heaven's like breaking into Fort Knox. You don't really know what you're going to do once you get in there. I noticed that it wasn't just Philip who just felt fear and loathing. It was all the places. And it was a specific kind of fear and loathing. It was a fear of the unknown and a self-loathing rather than the good old-fashioned despising of the unknown and fearing of what we don't understand. Gone were the days where we could be surrounded by like-minded people. We were only chased by ists and isms. Beware the ist, beware the ist. Speaking of ist, one for the doctor.
So beware the ist, but what? But the isms are okay.
Well, it's all about the devil you know.
True story. True story. Jesus,
You know,
Christ, terribly fascinating.
This body cannot handle these imbibed substances. I think I fell into a Quaker. I blame you.
You should have jumped into me, Doc. I think I can hang. Ah.
You look like you could have had some fun on the campaign trail. I think old Tricky Dick would have found you rather interesting. It's quite a change. It's like the more things change, the more they stay the same. I used to fight against Richard Nixon, and then I worried about Ronald Reagan, and then oh my God, it was a Bush. Not just one, but two.
Let me share something real with you that might actually knock you out of your host's socks. Is you used to fight with Nixon head to head to head. I'm actually directly related to Nixon.
You don't say.
Yeah, on my mom's side.
What is it? Twice removed? That's an
That was
interesting
correct,
family.
buddy. It's correct. It's not even by marriage.
That's an interesting Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, Uncle Dick, pass the drumstick. I don't know. Ooh,
Careful. Don't kill your host.
we don't want to kill Phil, but
Don't
this
kill
is
anybody. So
this
let
is the
me
first
ask you
time.
this. How is Elvis? Have you met him?
He's an interesting chap. You know, you'd think he would be as he was when he passed, bloated and in a studded suit, but he's kind of halfway in between. He's some mixed amalgamation of the 50s Elvis torso with the 70s Elvis lower body. So he looks like a Macy's Day Parade balloon. I actually was talking with Bill Hicks,
Bill Hicks.
who wanted me to remind everyone that everything is a ride. That's why I said, you bought the ticket. You take the ride.
Bill Hicks. So you're meeting the biggest names of our generation over there.
Well, I went to Whitney Houston's hot tub party the other day.
Oh,
That was a great time. Sweet lady, real sweet lady.
is she still a crackhead on the other side?
Technically, you don't have a head to be a crackhead on. So you just decide what kind of state you want to be in, and you're there. It's almost like when you chase the dragon.
Wow.
On the other side, you caught him, and now you got to deal with wrestling that fucker for all eternity.
Now, can you change like randomly? Like I want to be stoned right now, and in 5 minutes I want to be all coked up. Can you do that?
Well, it all depends on the amount of will you have. I'm
Mm.
rather strong-willed, so I can go from one element to the other. All of the elements.
They say you can't take it with you, but I'm pretty sure that there was so much in your system when you did that little thing that you probably took it with you. And you're probably perma high over there, right?
When they fired me out of the cannon, they stuffed an ounce of blow and half of a jar of mescaline. It was a great time. All the way to heaven. Poof. Well, technically, at first I made a buy stop.
Oh.
It was a little warm down there.
Okay.
But apparently, Satan had said that there's not enough room for me and Richard Nixon in the same place. Exceptions were made.
You know, that isn't wrong. He's not wrong. People give the devil, the worst possible rap because he is, after all, the devil. But he made a good call, good business move right there.
It's quite interesting, actually. It's quite a bit of a negotiation process. It feels kind of like the NBA draft.
You probably got to go through just as much bullshit.
It's not quite as bad as going through customs,
No.
but it is kind of like going into Mexico, down the highway from California across the border. It's quite beautiful, peaceful.
Driving into hell is beautiful and peaceful.
Yeah, you would think it's actually, I mean, it's almost like kind of like the sun's always going down, except everything's on fire.
Oh,
I just thought
it's like California.
Exactly. That's exactly this there. That's exactly the connection I made to it. It's like driving out of Cali. Yes, it's quite interesting. It's it's an understanding. When you get into the other side, you have like an apartment. I was told that there would be rooms and houses, but it's like an apartment, except for you can't touch anything or go anywhere. You're stuck, sitting in a circle watching television. You just hang out with whoever comes by.
I want you people to recognize the fucking coolness of having a ghost on the podcast network. Just saying. Now, let me ask you this, because I know you told me before you really only got about 15 minutes before you start running out of steam. Are you the only one who can break through that veil to come see us on this weekly basis? But what I'm asking is, like, can you grab Let's go back to Elvis. Could you grab Elvis and bring him with you? Or can you grab some guy named Stan? You know what I mean?
I'm sure that if anyone is nearby, I can grab a hold of him. Elvis, I'm going to have to send an invitation. He's pretty particular like that. I
Oh,
tap
is
him
he?
on the shoulder. Yeah, oh, yeah, tap him on the shoulder. Hey, come with me. I think I saw Reagan come through the Vale, so I think anybody can do it. I just think you have to actually, be willing to be put into the position. It's an interesting position.
So before we let you get up out of here, because I can hear your voice starting to kind of trail away, like you're fighting to stay with us, and I appreciate it.
They're on to
What do
me.
you think about the first president in American history being criminally indicted?
The way I see it, he shouldn't have technically been the first. He was just the first one that didn't know when to quit.
Ooh, well said, sir. Do you
I mean, at
have
least
any? Do you have any parting words or anything of wisdom that you want to share with our people? Because guys, you're gonna have to wait an entire week to hear any more pearls coming from Dr. Thompson. So, do you have anything you can leave us with?
well, I guess I could quote the Virgin Mary.
Oh, okay.
Last I heard, she said, "Come again." You're not going to be rid of me that easily.
No.
I will stick with Francis. They are onto me. I gotta move. I gotta hop from body to body.
Oh, so you got to hop now. Are you going back to the other side? Or are you going to jump into a different body next time?
I'm gonna try and stick it out. Francis and I have made an agreement. I will introduce him to all the hotties in heaven, and he lets me rent out the space while I'm in there. Or he's there and I'm here, or he's here and I'm there. I'm not sure. Spatial conformity is rather difficult in and out of a body. I know that I'm going to be paying close attention to the local headlines now that I am back, and it's not like watching everything at the end of time.
Wow, that was actually kind of deep to think that at the end of time, you'll still be out there. Like us, we all will. Man, you're answering so many questions about the life and the universe and everything.
I'm like a walking encyclopedia now that I have legs.
Hey, well, all right then. So, what do you think, Doc? Are you needing to take off yet, or you still got a few minutes? We're playing this by your ear. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
All I have to do is make sure that the whatever they're called. It's like a Brinks security guard. They know then when the hole's been breached, then they got to plug it. So I got to plug it. I got to get in there and I got to cut another hole. Dig it out like you're digging it out from underneath the Alcatraz.
So it's like Heaven's Border Patrol.
Exactly like the Border Patrol. Those tricky sons of bitches won't get any respite from us.
So you got to be like cutting holes in fences and like swimming through celestial rivers and then sneaking into our world.
They don't call it going through the ether for nothing. I was excited to be there. I almost forgot to show up. I was hanging out, having fond reminiscent times of days gone by. And then I felt a tug. Wasn't the tug I wanted, but it was the tug I got.
You beat me to it. Okay then. Anybody have any questions for the good doctor before we're going to wrap this one up?
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, not really though.
In divinity.
In divinity. You're a doctor in divinity.
I bought it. It's my diploma.
That's right. You may as well have one in fucking Russian poetry.
There's nothing wrong with poetry.
Even if
Unless I wrote it.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, we're at that 20-minute mark, sir. And as per your contract, and thank you for showing up here and honoring your agreement. I know that's difficult for you to show up and remember what contracts and whatnot are.
I watch a lot of deal making going on while I stopped off in my pit stop in hell. I've become rather good at it.
Okay.
Next time, bring hookers. I'll bring the shivas.
You want me to bring hookers on the podcast?
Oh, right. I have a body. I keep
Right.
forgetting these things.
Now go ahead
I'll
and
get.
go get a hooker.
I will get a hooker. That's my next order of business.
Now, try not to actually party your host's body to death, all right?
No promises.
No promises. On that note, next time we do this is going to be all on the dock. I'm not going to be like a regular guy on this show, but he asked me to stay this time. It was an honor, sir. And next time, we'll see what you have to come up with. Feel free to bring a friend.
Ooh, it's like a menage a trois. -1.
-1. So that would just be like a regular thing.
Nobody likes missionary sex, Tricky Dick.
Thank you guys for checking out Through the Veil with the Good Doctor. We'll see you next week.